Hello, everyone, and welcome to Zest with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that will take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today, it's an absolute honor to welcome a truly remarkable guest, Al West, a critically acclaimed and internationally published author whose poetic words have not only touched countless lives, but have also left a profound and personal impact on my own. Al's unique ability to weave life's rawest realities into powerful self-help literature in a creative, beautiful, and meaningful way invites us all on our own profound journeys to discover our true identities and beyond society's limiting beliefs. I first experienced his magnetic presence live in Valencia, where he was one of the only two other men supporting a women's empowerment event, which is a testament to his deep respect and unwavering support for women, I personally felt. His distinct poetic voice draws you in effortlessly, awakening your core and breaking through limitations within our mind and bodies, which you will experience today. He is also a visionary leader who puts purpose and people first, inspiring a new generation to embrace optimism and authentic living. His influential publications, including A Mouthful of Masterpieces and Mind, Poetic Power Principles, are more than just books. They are powerful sources of healing, empowerment, and transformation. Ready to be inspired by his incredible journey, wisdom, and heart? I know I am. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was amazing.
You are so welcome.
Thank you for having me. Absolutely, because it's an opportunity for me to share my story, and it's an opportunity for me to learn something. So I've always looked at it as a two-way street. But absolutely, thank you for the invitation.
You are so welcome, and thank you for saying yes. As we spoke a lot about your poetic, creative ability, and I know it stretches far beyond that, with your permission, as you so kindly gifted me at the speaking event, your book, which I will share the image of your book, because it was actually the image that really powerfully drew me in. Do you mind if I say, and it was really hard for me to pick, if I say 5 of the words from your poems, you pick one and I read it, just to have a bit of fun and a sentence and a starter, creative starter. Do you want me to share them?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
You can pick which one: conscious, still, confidence, questions, or unconditional.
Confidence.
Let's go for it. So I'm just going to read it how I hear it in my heart, and then we'll take it from there.
Talk about it.
Confidence. In a room that I walk in and the walls that surround it. Powerful.
I wrote that because at a young age, I didn't have a lot of confidence at a young age. I had a lot of love, but the confidence wasn't there. And the reason for that is because my father wasn't around. So I didn't have a male figure to look up to besides my grandfather. So the confident level, trying to find out who you are, what you are, and it's easier when you have parents to kind of see who you are. So that was a little hard for me. So I had to build my confidence, and I did that through sports. I was very good at running track. And when I became a gold medalist is when my confidence started to kind of peak. And so it's not coming from a selfish place. It's coming from a confident place and saying, I am the walls and the ceiling when I walk in the room. And I have to feel that way in order to give you my best self. And I wrote that thinking about my best self, my highest self. How would I feel today? And I have to feel that every day. So that's a part of me that I use Even when I'm speaking, I say it before I enter the room.
Wow. Wow. Um, the reason why I said healing about your poetry is because actually how it's interpreted is a reflection of the reader, not of you. Because
Correct.
you've wrote it, which you so beautifully explained from your perspective. But actually, whether triggered, whether inspired, whatever, it's, I feel, always a reflection of the reader. Because I read it and I could see much deeper than that. I could really I could really see that actually back to the societal programming and, that we're all kind of following this invisible line towards. Why
Correct.
not just be confident? Why not show up? And why not, like what I hear as, you're in that room because you should be in that room. So own it. Whether you get gold, you get silver, you get bronze, or actually you don't
Yeah.
receive anything, it doesn't
Correct.
matter. Own it. So I love that. And I loved your explanation. Um,
Correct. Good. Yeah, if you don't believe in yourself, I've always found that no one else will. And that resonated with me so fast at a young age. It's like if you don't have any confidence, I was always the friend that would go get the unconfident ones and
mm,
try to boost their ego and try to boost their self-esteem. I didn't like bullies, so I would always be friends with the ones that were being bullied,
yeah.
like kind of a protector. I hung out with the hard-headed guys, but I could protect you from these guys if we were friends.
Yeah.
I didn't like bullies
Oh.
at all, but it's just a way of, I think everyone should win, no matter who they are, no matter what level they're on. I know we all have different paths in lives that we have to go down, but you should do it with confidence. It's just, you shouldn't compare yourself to the person sitting next to you because you were born by yourself, I'm assuming. Even twins are born by themselves. So I would hope that, you have to build that own self-esteem to keep going.
Absolutely. Even in what you say, it shows because I think sometimes I can really relate to that because, whether we want to call it popular or, the right people, like I felt similar of, I almost could go between the two of, I I was respected and thank goodness I never experienced like the other side of school, the lovely experiences of school that I know my sister very much did. But there was still compassion in me and love in me that I didn't like anyone not to feel like they're not good enough or they're not welcome, or I just, even from a young age, like injustice and being unkind to others was just something that it just was not something I tolerated. I didn't like it. um and I think that's really, really powerful word that you used of, we don't probably notice it or realize it at the time, but a protector. It's kind of like, okay, it's not like mothering or fathering or being like, I'm going to save everybody, because everybody has their own path. But listen, no, don't even go there. Like, I think
Right.
that's just, yeah, really bold and brave. And I love that. So thank you so much for mentioning that.
You mentioned earlier that I was one of two men that were at a women's event supporting
Yeah.
women, and one would have a question, why? To answer that question, my mother was the only woman in my life besides my grandmother when I was younger. Even though my mom had issues and she had her own road to travel and problems, I still felt the love from her. I
Mm,
still felt protected from her. Maybe I didn't feel protected from the things that she was choosing to do in her life because it all affected me
mm,
as well.
yeah.
But as a young man, seeing a woman get abused, especially your mother, it puts you in two different places. You could either become an abuser because this is what you see, or you're going to become a protector because it doesn't sit well with you at all. And I chose the latter. It didn't sit well with me at all at any age. So just seeing her experience some of the things that she went through, I decided that that wasn't the type of man that I ever wanted to be, because it looked weak, it looked powerless to abuse somebody who's much weaker than you. I don't want to use the word weak, but much,
Yeah.
they're not stronger than men. We know that
Yeah.
physically. So just to see these type of things formulated the way that I think and the way that I carry myself around women. And I think that every man should respect a woman, no matter if you came from them or not, because the simple fact that we all come from a woman,
Yeah.
that one thing should make you respect them, because you came from them. So I had to forgive my mom for the choices she made. And I had to come to a place in my mind to where I said, I wasn't there. I don't know what made her make these choices. I don't know what transpired. I don't know how this even came about. So I can't fault her for the choices she's making today just because I'm able to see them, because I
Yeah.
don't know what led here. So my protection for her was, hey, I forgive you for everything that I had to endure while I was living with you. But now that I'm able to make my own decisions, I can kind of look back and see that maybe you need a hug. Maybe you need
Mm.
love. Maybe you weren't getting the things that you needed to become the best version of yourself. So I'm definitely going to become the best version of myself because I might have to reach back and help one of my parents see that someone loves you. I don't know what you went through, but I'm going to be the bigger person in this process.
That's beautiful. And something that, well, in you sharing that, which I'm sure so many people can relate to, and I definitely can relate to a lot of what you're saying. And it takes a really strong person to not make it about them anymore. Because
Right.
yes, we were a part of it. We, were in a certain situation, but like what you said, we weren't walking in their shoes. We didn't know why they made the choices they made. We didn't know their mindset. We didn't know much bigger things than what a child knows behind the scenes. Of
Yeah.
course, we love and respect our parents, and we want the best for them. But when you said about the hug, and actually at times often they can't even receive that, so even
No.
just still continuing and letting them know in whatever way it is that I love you no matter what. It doesn't mean that I'm necessarily going to tolerate certain things if things continue, but I am still going to honor you and love you at the capacity or whatever it is that you're at, because you, like what you said, you are my mother, my father, whoever, you brought me into this world. And I think it's really important, because obviously there's lots of different circumstances as well, like to think about all different people's lives right now. That, and I would love your take on this, it doesn't always mean that it's got to be ringing them up and in person.
Right.
Sometimes, I would love your take on this. I remember when I went through a period, and I won't say like who it was, but I remember there was a long period of almost 2 years where, in order to change certain things that were continuously repeating in my life, I had to give love from my heart from afar and just know
Mhm.
and believe that in me sending those prayers, those intentions, whatever you want to call it, just having that quiet moment, connecting to my heart and just really being like, I love you, I love you, I love you. And just believing that that makes a difference whether you connect again or not. And the result of that was so beautiful. So I trust and believe in the power of that. So,
Absolutely. And I think the take on that is that if we can do that, then we heal a lot faster. If we can
Yes.
find some type of way to forgive them, even though, like you said, it doesn't have to be close up, you can love people from a distance. If you can somehow just get the ickiness out of your heart about how you feel about this person, then it's going to make you accelerate in your healing a lot faster. And when I figured that out, I start forgiving everybody. I'm just like, I'm not
Yeah.
even mad anymore.
Grabbing it all. I was literally like, yeah, okay,
I'm not
okay.
even, yeah,
Like,
I'm not even mad anymore.
no,
If
I
you,
know.
you people are gonna be whoever you think you're gonna be, and I'm gonna be who I think I'm gonna be. So
Yes.
I don't come from a judgmental standpoint. I come from somewhat conditioning and somewhat trying to comprehend why. I've always asked the question, why? Why are you
Yeah.
acting like that? There's a reason why you're doing this, and if we can get to the reason, we can probably solve this problem.
Absolutely. And even in the way it kind of felt a little bit like free and flowing and fun just
Mhm.
then when we were joking. But that even I feel has an underlining message because that's how you feel. You
Mhm.
really feel like, because I feel like when you have so much on your shoulders and it doesn't have to be physical or in your mind, there's just something that feels pressured. There's something that
Right.
just keeps going in a loop, in a loop, in a loop, and it's not suppressing, it's not pretending something hasn't happened. Like some people, as I know from your own story and from my personal experiences, there are some things that take a lot of time, but when you can truly just drop into your heart and see it not necessarily about that person but about you, and you really now almost like being in this moment right now of this is where I am heading. I'm heading this way now because I have a choice to do that. And I'm dropping all that off. I'm going to drop all that off, not to pretend it never happened, but because I get to choose. I get to choose and I get to walk forward now. And I think that's super important to give yourself that permission.
Absolutely. I think that most of the greatest speakers in the world and podcasters as yourself, I think our lessons are always learned through experience. I had a guy ask me a question once and he goes, I see that you're into coaching. Um, but you don't have like a psychology degree or whatever.
My gosh.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I have a
So
life degree, honey, trust me.
yeah, that's and that's what it came down to. I said, there's two different people that can coach you. I said one is going to learn from textbooks and the other one's going to have a life experience. I said the problem with me is that I have a life experience.
Yes.
So I only teach what I know. I only tell the truth and I can only tell you what I know. I can't tell you anything else or I can't make anything up. I said I've actually lived through the things that you read in my book, all those poetic poems and stuff like that, that's real life. Those are layers. So if you get to a point, or if a unhealed person is reading my book, they're just gonna read it like it's poetic. Once you start healing yourself, you can go back and read these, and you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna see something that you didn't see before. You're gonna feel it in a way you didn't feel it before because it's written in a metaphor. It's
Yes.
metaphoric. So you would almost have to be healed to understand it on a deeper level.
Yes.
And that's the way that I wrote it because that's just who I am. I think that three words that people understand no matter where you are in the world is I love you. Those
Yeah.
are three words. So I don't believe in writing chapters. I believe that you can get your point across with less words if you're getting straight to it. So that's how I write my books and that's how I write things. And I try to be the most powerful writer I can with a short amount of words to try to get the point across.
And trust me, you do. I can definitely, and I know that so many who have already had the experience of reading your book, and so many that I know will be listening to this and want to read your book, which I will be putting definitely in the notes. 100%, like even at the time when you gave it to me until reading it recently and thinking, oh, I wanna share one of them, it will never be read the same, depending on the day, depending on the time, depending on the
Right.
experience. um and that's the beautiful thing about it. and the imagery and the thoughts that come to your mind. It's really powerful, really powerful. Thank
Good.
you.
Good. I'm happy about that. And it just won an award, so it's an awarded book now. It won the Regal Book Award, so I'm happy about that.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, you're amazing. You are so amazing. And yeah. But like what I said, which I'll be sharing, the imagery, I believe, is just as powerful, powerful, interesting, powerful as the written words. And what I also picked up on that you said, which is another really powerful thing, and I would love you to share a little bit more about this, is you said my intention, and that's very important because since I started setting powerful intentions, I even set intentions before every podcast, things just really change in your life. What do you think about that?
I believe in the power of intention extremely. I don't know if you've ever had something bad happen to you because you said it, or you got up in the morning and you said
Mm-hmm.
something and then it just kept fumbling. That happened to me a couple of times, and I'm just like, what if I woke up in a different way? What if I forced myself to wake up and say something different? So today, when I'm waking up, I tell myself before my feet hit the floor, I was like, you're powerful. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything is working for you. No matter what happens today, it's for you. Even if it looks bad, you're gonna transmute it into good energy. So let's just do this. And I look
Wow.
at everything in my life like it's happening for a reason, even if it's somebody cutting me off or anything. I
Mm-hmm.
try to like, oh, what? Maybe they're saving me from an accident that's up ahead. I'm just
Yes.
optimistic like that, and it wasn't easy getting there,
No,
but I'm in that place now where
I
where I
hear
just let
you.
people, yeah, I let people be people, and if it's triggering too much, then I think it's triggering to try to knock me off of that horse of positivity. So then I know what it's about because I'm using my thoughts. So I know what it's about.
Absolutely. But even in you saying that, which
Mhm.
again shows perspective, like I do exactly the same, by the way, not so much in the morning, but you've just reminded me to really set that powerful intention in the morning. I set them throughout my day, depending on what points I'm at in my day. But really, that I love that what you said about straight in the morning. But what you actually said about the triggering, that in itself is honoring you and your journey and what you are putting out. Because if you are receiving that back, that again is clarity about someone not in alignment or someone, So absolutely, I agree with you. And I actually had funny enough to what you're saying about sometimes when we put it out there and well, you didn't say about searching, but sometimes I'm searching and oh, when's it going to come or something. And then today I had a realization, as like I like to go and walk around nature. I was like, Shirley, oh my gosh, you have it already. You have it already.
Already.
Open your eyes.
Yeah, you have it already. You're surrounded by it. So it's just
Exactly.
it's just that we're go ahead.
No, 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 carry on.
We're so focused on the future that we just missed out on today. And that
Absolutely.
happens to us a lot, that we'll start thinking about tomorrow, we'll start thinking about next week, and then we look up and it's time to go to bed. The day is already gone. So you haven't even spent time in the present moment and
Yes.
enjoyed it at all. So I catch myself doing that sometimes, and I have to break those habits. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm here today. I'm going to do whatever comes today to make me happy. And I'll think about tomorrow when it comes. So just trying to
Beautiful.
keep a positive attitude and a perspective on things around a world full of negative people sometimes can get a little complicated. I'm an introvert, so most of the time I'm alone wherever I am, in the home, in the car, whatever. So I don't have to deal with it as much. But when I'm in crowds and stuff like that, you can just pick up on people's energy and just like, oh, this is draining. You didn't even
Mm,
say anything to me, and I can just feel that something's wrong. So,
yeah.
um,
Do you know, though, someone told me once a powerful reframe with that because, and it's not being like delusional or anything, but going back to what you said about in the morning, I don't know, I just think that this just came to my mind. I feel like it's a really playful way of looking at it. Particularly whether we want to call it an empath or whatever, but let's just face it, guys, there are people and we just feel very sensitive to feelings in a room, situations, and things like that. So, what someone powerfully said once, which really struck my mind, was what about, so it's what if instead of when you walk into that room or you get that feeling, what if they're speaking about you because they're speaking about so many incredible things about you? What if they're looking at you because they're thinking, wow, I love what she's wearing? And just already inside,
I like that.
regardless of the looks, regardless of whatever, doesn't that just feel like such a more empowering thought? Because actually, are you going to see these people again? Are they actually changing anything in your life or impacting it? No. So what if we get to pick why they're looking, why they're speaking, why they're sneering? Or maybe she's got something bad in her nose. She's got a bad smell, We get to pick. So
I like that.
I hear you 100%. And even if I don't, there's something that just makes me smile now when it happens, remembering that. So I think it's just, it's a playful way of looking at it. And second to that, sometimes not saying, because it's so important to celebrate everybody's languages, but this was a really interesting thing from traveling that I received recently of, I walk around the world, the earth, whatever, and I'm just like loving it, okay? I'm just like, everything's so beautiful, and look at the people, and maybe that's just how they are here, And it was only when I go around with someone from that country and then, can't believe what she just said about you. That then I realized that this beautiful world, this illusion that I'm actually having a fantastic time wherever I go in, I feel like sometimes it's actually a bliss not to know the language.
Right.
I'm having a great time.
And
I think that's why sometimes I find it so dense in the UK, because generally everyone is speaking my language and I can hear every single conversation, every single thing that's happening. Like, I don't want to know about Barbara's coffee table, leave Barbara alone. But yeah, so I don't know, I just felt like sharing that. I think it's just nice to see the funny side of things sometimes. And I believe these people enter our lives to check in how much healing we've done. So we should be thankful for them. When you take so long picking the most loveliest banana, and then they throw it down the checkout, and you're like, well, I wanted a bruised banana. Thanks for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Just seeing the comical, funny side of it, does it really matter? Like, yes, she shouldn't be throwing my food around, but what is this? Why is this right now happening? And
why is it happening? Right. Yeah, I had a friend ask me, he was like, how do you walk into a room of a lot of people and start speaking and not get nervous? I said, you know what I think about before I walk into those rooms is they came to see me. These people got up to come see me. They got dressed to come see me. They came here to hear me. They flew all of this way to hear me. I don't know any other speaker in the room they came to see, but I know they came to see me. So it kind of like dilutes the, the anxiety when you go into the room. It's like they came to see you. They showed up here to see you. So.
And as you said that, whether you do it like that or that was just an example, I think the more momentum you get with it as well, because as you kept saying it in different ways, you get that momentum, and it just brings this this beautiful adrenaline. And I just really want to put out there, and it's on YouTube for you all to see, and you definitely need to go and see it because it was exceptional, his live speaking. But now that I know the behind the scenes, that you're getting yourself up and ready, he's so cool. So as you can see, so calm, so collective. So I would have to do the opposite. Can you imagine? My energy would be off the roof. Imagine I got myself so psyched up. They're here to see me. they'd be like, is she on something? She needs to pull herself down. That's the zest. I would need to bring it right down to the zen. I need to be like, calm. I would be like, okay, what would Al do in this situation? Cool, calm, collective. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. Make
So
it,
yeah.
make it look natural. Make it look natural.
Absolutely. But yeah, I love that. I
So,
love that. And yeah, just I'm definitely again having these amazing like high vibrational, high level conversations that just this is what we're doing. We all actually know it already. It's just having these conversations and remember who you are, remember what you're doing, remember why you're entering that room, it's just keeping yourself in that beautiful
yeah,
spiral of positivity and not in a delusional way, in a way that you are the creator and you get to pick, which I think is beautiful.
absolutely. And I just love seeing people win. I love it when you can see someone get it. It clicks, whether they read your book or it's something you said.
Yeah.
And I really love helping people, and I love seeing people get to that next level of mental capacity to where they're
Mm,
carrying themselves different, and they actually got something out of what you said, because that's the whole purpose of why I'm doing this anyway, is because I felt like there were people that helped me along the way. And I said, once I get to a place to where I can help people, then I will. And it's not all about money with me. It's all about mindset with me.
yeah.
So as you can see, I do this almost at every speaking engagement I go to. I give away my books. And I've been asked before, why do you do that? You're supposed to be making money off your books, and you did all this work and all this and da 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 da. And I said, when you're dating, these people don't know you.
Mm,
So in order for you to introduce yourself to somebody, it almost has to be free. It almost has to be your hard work, because your first impression is your last.
yes.
So I give away my books so they can understand who I am and where I'm coming from and what my journey is, and maybe they can get something out of it.
Mm,
Because the money will come, the money will follow you. I learned that that's something that you don't have to chase.
yeah.
You just have to build a roadway or a row of what I said, row or road for it to get to you.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I just really love helping people. But what is your next quotes that you will read? You
What's
had 4 or 5, you said?
what's
We're
this?
still on the phone. You said you were going to read something else from my book. Quote.
Oh no, yeah, I can read another one. Absolutely. I wasn't sure. I
So,
didn't want to obviously give away
no, no,
too
no, no, no,
much.
no.
It's not mine to
I'm
give away, but
open.
I will read them all. Um, uh, so we did confidence, conscious, still, questions or unconditional.
Unconditional, interesting.
Yeah,
Read that one.
good choice. Just saying. Oh, it's perfect actually, what we've just been talking about. Unconditional. I forgive you. Then I gave me everything I forgave you for. Wow.
That's
Powerful.
interesting. You, oh my God.
Say that
You
once
get to
more.
a, yeah.
Yeah.
You get to a point, and go ahead and read it.
I forgave you. Then I gave everything I forgave. Then I gave me everything I forgave you for.
This world is full of people that love to talk. And I think sometimes people just like hearing themselves. There are a lot of broken promises
Mm,
between me and my parents about what I'm gonna do, this, that, and the third. So, and then even when you have friends and family that are promising you things, and these things never come through.
yeah.
They never come through, or there's always an excuse as to why this and why that. And I was like, the only way to for me to be ultimately happy is for me to give it to myself. It's for me to make me happy. I can't leave this up to anyone else because if I do, I'm always going to fall short of what I think that is.
Yeah.
Um, and I believe every relationship should be built that way. If you're healed, there's no way you should be talking to an unhealed person unless you're trying to help them, because it's not going to be satisfactory for you. So I began to heal myself. And once I begin to heal myself, now I can look back and see, well, wait a minute, why was I bitter about that? Why was I mad about that? These people haven't even helped themselves. They haven't even healed themselves. And yet I'm getting upset because they didn't do something for me. They didn't even do it for themselves. So why am I getting mad? So
Yes.
I got to a
Yes.
point to where I understood that and I comprehended it truly. And I'm just like, if we all knew that, we wouldn't get mad at anyone. If we knew that we couldn't call John for $4, but we can call John to come help us move the couch because that's what he would do. Now I can call Mark and ask him for $1,000, but I can't call John and ask him for that. You have to understand who people are, and you have
Yes.
to understand who you are to these people. But once you understand who you are to yourself, I think that you start attracting people, places, and things that are aligned with who you are at this current time. So I had to heal so I could get rid of all the people around me that weren't healed because they naturally will fall off. The old
Absolutely.
branches will naturally fall off a healthy tree. They will.
Absolutely.
So if you can stay healthy, if you can stay mentally healthy, then you're going to attract these people around you that you need. That you need. I was in
Yeah.
a room full of women and I had no clue who you guys were. And I've been on your podcast. I've had Monique she wanted me to come speak for her at some other things. And I'm just like, you
Amazing.
just never know what's going to happen when you're aligned in a room full of people that are aligned. So I was very happy to be there. I was very happy to meet you and everyone else. I was very happy to be there.
Absolutely. And it's really powerful what you said actually, because yeah, there is almost a part where you do take that step back, because I realized this of like, yeah, like if I communicate it right, what you said of you don't realize it, but you kind of being conditional, because now all of a sudden you have a different, like, I think we have to be super careful with boundaries, because boundaries is not then
Mm-hmm.
expecting someone to be what you want them to be. That's not the
Mm-hmm.
boundary. The
No.
boundary is, okay, I'm not accepting this anymore, and this is my boundary. It's not, okay, now you need to be like this in order to, like, they have to figure it out themselves in whatever way they
Right.
think that is, because otherwise then, just another example which someone said once, which was super powerful, was, for example, gossiping. When people are gossiping, if you are not taking part, and you are in your mind thinking, gosh, they're always gossiping, you're doing exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
it's really important for us sometimes and it's a natural thing we do. We naturally compare, we naturally judge, whatever we want to call it. But you need to check in with you, not them. It all
Absolutely.
goes back to self. So I really appreciate what you've said, if I've heard that correctly, of, yeah, there is a part where it's like, actually, am I really accepting this person fully as they are? That doesn't mean tolerating them. That doesn't mean just, again, carrying on the same patterns, because you have the choice to change the pattern. But right now, actually, I'm just going to love from afar or whatever this person for the person that they are choosing to be right now. And whether they now
Absolutely.
relate to me, understand me or not is irrelevant, because I'm choosing me and how I want to show up and be me in my life, and they're choosing them. And who, even if they have a judgment on you, that's to do with them. It's not to do with me. So I
Absolutely.
think that's super powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we should be the example and not exemplified, but yeah, we should always be the example if we're going to get up and call ourselves professionals or even friends to somebody, because Um, Whether you know it or not, you've been coaching your whole life.
Oh yeah.
If you've had a best friend, if you've had a cousin, if you've had anybody that's asked you for any advice, you've been coaching your whole life. You just
Yes.
didn't say it was coaching. You called it
Yeah.
advice, but no, you've been coaching your whole life. So you've been preparing for this your whole entire life. You
Yeah.
just didn't know. And that's
We
the
just
funny
maybe
part is
have
when
a
we
different rating of the type of coach.
absolutely.
Let's not go on to booking.com at the ratings or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, let's not
But
do that.
yeah, like I get, we have to play the game and get the qualification and, in order to be recognized and put all the whatevers behind our name, which, I don't judge anyone that does that. But actually, going back to what you said, sometimes it's life. Sometimes life
Mhm.
is your biggest lesson. Not saying we want to experience all the polarities of life, but some of us actually just have. And we don't need to say this is because I read this book or because I had this. It's just something from within us that it's just I can relate and understand this and see what's happening here because of something that is personal to me. And actually, I don't have to share that. I don't have to justify that or whatever. Or you do. It's all goes back to the person. And I'm sure, like you, for me, unless it's going to be of impact or support or of upliftment to another, then I personally don't want to share things because I only want to share from a place of healing and from
Mhm.
coming from a place of empowerment. And again, that could, trigger people because then they only see the version that they see now.
Mhm.
But that's
Absolutely.
not my problem because I'm
Right.
showing up for me and I personally don't want to have to go pull people into these timelines of making them feel sad again, making them feel
Mhm.
this. You know,
Right.
I want to come from a place of, wow, you went through
Right.
all that and you are still doing this. And that's how I want to. And if that doesn't resonate and doesn't align with someone and it triggers them, that's why it's so important that we all are almost speaking the same thing, but we are
Mhm.
receiving it in very different ways. And that's why
Very different way.
someone is amazing for someone and someone is amazing for another person.
Another.
So,
Right. And that's the whole reason why I don't um that's the whole reason why I don't lead with titles. A lot of times when we're introducing ourselves, I'll just start talking. It doesn't
yeah.
matter where I'm just gonna start talking because I believe that if I tell you all my titles, then I feel like that I have to tell you that to validate who I am. I don't
Mm,
want to tell you my titles to validate who I am. I want to tell you a story to see if you can connect with me, and that will validate who we both are. And I don't have to sit here and act like I'm this super guru because I have all these awards and all these accolades and all this stuff to make you feel less of who you are so you'll listen to me. I want
mm,
you to listen to me because you feel connected to me, not because of the titles that I carry. So a
yeah.
lot of times I won't even tell people that I'm an award-winning author and I've
I
spoken
know.
here
I
and
know.
I've done all these great things. I won't say anything. I'm just quiet. And then we start talking, we just start talking. But I want people to feel validated off of themselves. You don't have to look for a guru like me or you or anybody else to feel validated. You shouldn't have to. You should feel that validation within yourself. And I had to come to that place myself to where I felt validated. I could probably run into a celebrity and I would treat them like a regular person
Same.
because I'm not going to treat you any better than you're asking me to at that present time. And that's going to be based off of how we interact. So,
Yeah. But I think that's also the beauty of how people meet and stuff, because
mhm.
often the ones chasing after that don't have those, bump into people in the bathroom or
Right.
accidentally going the wrong way. Because sometimes, again, I believe we're all mirrors for each other, and
Mhm.
sometimes in order, and it's not anyone playing a certain role, it's just being authentically you. And if that makes someone else feel not respected or not treated the way they're normally supposed to be treated, that's a lesson for them. Again, as long as
Absolutely.
you generally have come from a place of love and authenticity and just showing up as you and how you interact with the world, and they have a certain thought, feeling, or emotion from that, that's on them. Because obviously, if you have that intention and you are purposely going out of your way to make someone feel a certain way, that again is on, you know what you're doing. So
Right.
I think, yeah, it's absolutely what you said. It's really, really powerful and important. And essentially, are we all just navigating life anyway?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are. Because we
And can
are.
I just really just add before I ask you the last thing, because I don't want to take up too much more of your time, even though I always love connecting with you. You make your speech memorable because you did that. And I know that wasn't whether it was your intention or not, but that's what made your speech memorable. Because you just
Is.
came out, dropped the mic. I'm like,
Are you serious?
What just happened?
That is funny.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even me who's missed like constantly like cheerleader, like, yeah, God, yeah, yeah. And then yours are just could have been catching all the flies. I was just like, oh. So I know so many people now are going to be like, I need to watch this. Yes, you do. And I will be putting the YouTube link for people to go and see it. You, my darling, are just such an inspiration, and I'm just more than just meeting you in Valencia, having you on the podcast. More than that, you are really, truly such an incredible and inspirational person in my life that I know, just even if it's a long time before we connect or short, it doesn't actually matter, because I just feel like it's always the perfect time, and I'm so thankful for you. One last thing just before you go, just off the top of your head, that I always ask all my guests. If there was something right now that just comes to your mind that you feel that somebody listening would really, really benefit from hearing, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself like you never have. Believe in yourself like no one ever has. Believe in yourself like you're the only person in the world, like you're the only person in the room. And once you start doing that, you can come to a place to where you feel like you can do just about anything. I know that this is a sidebar, but I don't want to give away my age, but a few years ago, this is way before, I don't want anybody to get upset, but this is way before Donald Trump was even our president. I met him. I met Tony Robbins, I met Robert Kiyosaki and his wife, I met George Foreman. And how I met these people was kind of embarrassing. I had went to a seminar and there was like literally 9,000 people here, because all these big name gurus were going to be in this building. And they did a dance competition. And the dance competition was on stage. Trust me, I wasn't going. The stage was already full. My friend kept raising my hand. I'm like, dude, stop doing that.
Thanks, friend.
Yeah, like, stop doing that. He did it again. One of the girls couldn't find anybody. They kept pulling people's hands, trying to get him to come to the stage. And he was like, oh, he'll do it. I'm like, no. So she comes over, please, just can you come? I can't find anybody. Everyone's saying no. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I won this dance competition.
Okay, you're gonna have to send me that so I can really put it, because it's out of focus. But send me it and I will upload it so people can see it.
But anyway, I'll send you that. So that's me meeting Donald Trump. Won like $400 or $500 for winning that dance competition.
Wow.
I beat out a few women I thought they were gonna beat me. It was just
Get out the way, girls.
It was an unreal day for me. But that's why I told my friend, I said, if you can get past the point of embarrassing yourself, then you can talk to anybody. You can stand up
Mm.
in front of a room of 100 people. I said that it couldn't get no worse than that day I had. Like, I don't know. I don't remember. I just blacked out. I don't know what happened. But I got to meet all these interesting people, and I got a lot of stuff out of it. I got a lot of things out of it. So you just
Wow.
sometimes you got to embarrass yourself a little bit just to get out of your own comfort zone. I believe if you're comfortable, you're not moving along. You got to get uncomfortable. You got to get
Yes,
uncomfortable. But
absolutely.
I would absolutely tell them to believe in themselves. And that's the only reason why I wanted to tell that story, is because I had to believe in myself that day. Because it's
Mm.
either you're already up here. So either you're gonna fade to the back and just go off the stage and go hide somewhere, or you're gonna win this thing. And that was
Yes.
in my head. I said, if I'm gonna get up here and embarrass myself, I'm gonna win this thing. I'm not about to get up here and not win it. And
Mm.
that's all I kept telling myself. And I won it. So
Amazing.
believe in yourself when no one else does. It doesn't matter how dark the room is. Um, I have a quote that says, I spent time in the dark so I could see within it. The light only came to show you what I envisioned in it.
Yes.
That's what that is. You have to sit in the dark, and once you're able to see in it, then the light will come show you what I created. So
Wow. So powerful. And just to add to that, I believe, and just from hearing you, speaking with you, this is also much greater than us. This is your that you magnetize that, because the more you do within, the more it magnetizes out. And I really truly believe in that. And even though you wasn't the one putting your hand up, still you getting up on that stage and then having that mental capacity to still tell yourself that thought is very, that still could have been a very different situation, which
absolutely.
showed that even in that situation of you not wanting to put yourself forward, you'd also, I felt like, I don't know you at that point, but I feel like you'd still done so much work, inner work on yourself, to really be like, well, I'm here now. And just to clarify, didn't you say 9,000 people?
9,000 people. Absolutely. It
Yes,
was it was
Al,
it was
amazing.
unreal. It was unreal.
Oh, I
But
really wish you show me footage of this. I would love to
oh
see
no.
it.
I
But
would not. I would
yeah.
that was embarrassing.
But I'm super proud of you, and thank you so much for, as always, not only behind the scenes now, an incredible inspirational talk with you as we always have, but now other people get to absorb all of your beautiful words, your poetic expression, which is, as people can now hear and know, it's deeply transformational and healing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I will come on this podcast again in the near future, hopefully. So thank you so much.
Yes, you will. Absolutely.